Hi Pisces, I hope that you're all doing well. We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card out is Page of Cups. And Knight of Wands. You may feel something and want to take action based off of that fairly quickly. The only thing that I'm seeing immediately before we get the rest of the cards out is that this can be something that you're feeling in a moment and may feel inclined to do something about it immediately. You may want to take a moment to reflect on this. Maybe you're not going to need to. I want to see further like what's going on here within the context of that. That's the only thing. It just feels like you may be in a moment like suddenly I'm feeling this and now I want to do something immediately about it, and you know that's not always the best thing, but maybe it is the best thing for this situation. So let's see what's going on. But that's the first thing that's coming to mind. Okay, I'm seeing High Priestess, I'm seeing Queen of Cups, and I'm also seeing Seven of Swords here. I will say this. You are feeling something, so that's not to say that what you're feeling isn't real or anything like that. You're really having an experience right now. You're really feeling something right now. You're in a place where you're sort of like swimming in the emotions, okay? You're swimming in the feelings. Having Knight of Wands is a part of you that may, before you really think it through, want to take action immediately. Having High Priestess here is something that I feel like is going to mitigate this energy. Knight of Wands can be a part of you that is a little bit like not thinking something through totally. And the High Priestess is the part of you that's like, let me actually think about this. Let me tune into this. Let me be wise with what it is that I'm doing. And let me feel it out. And also let me try to see if anything is going on behind the scenes that I'm not potentially picking up on right now. Having then Queen of Cups come out is feeling like needing to do some type of emotional work here. Seven of Swords, though, can be something that could potentially be blocking you from doing so. Seven of Swords is somewhere where you may not be being totally, absolutely, completely honest with yourself about something here. More so about what you're feeling than anything else, or what you're picking up on, or what you're sensing. It can also mean, too, that you may not have all of the information. This can be someone else's energy, too. I'm going to get further and see. Something about needing to see that something may be impulsive if you decide to do it, or if you already did something that it could potentially be impulsive. Having Emperor and having Two of Swords feels like I need to make some sort of big decision or make a big move here, but I need to make sure that I'm also seeing things clearly and not just like gone with the wind with this. This is something that I need to actually reflect on. I need to actually sit with it. Coming back over to having Queen of Cups and having Seven of Swords, this can be doing something in a way that actually like goes against your own truth. Seven of Swords can be shadow thoughts that you're having, but it can also be like hiding some things from yourself. So you can be feeling some things, but you may not be being totally honest with yourself about that. So it can be like, I'm coloring this narrative, but I'm not including all the information in this narrative. It can be something along the lines of that, and it's something to be aware of. And it can also be telling you too that how you're feeling, there may be some stuff missing. There may be some thoughts that you're like, well, I don't want to have to consider that part, or I don't want to have to consider that perspective, because then it may shift what I'm feeling. But then it's going to be a more like holistic approach that may be lacking currently. So that's just something to be aware of here. Emperor and Two of Swords, making a move where you're doing so for the right reasons, with the right motives, and also thinking about how this will impact you, not just now, but also later down the line. The Emperor is also about the responsibility that you have. Okay. You're working through something, could be unsure of something, could be trying to figure it out. High Priestess and Seven of Cups is like, rather than before I actually understand this, there can be a part of you that wants to take action, but then there's another part of you that's like, I think before doing something, we should actually try to understand all of what's going on here, rather than taking these little pieces of what you're getting and then doing something based off of it, and then later on being like, wow, I wasn't seeing the whole thing and I made that choice. You know, it can be something like that. This can be a big choice that has to do with your livelihood in some way, like what you're doing with your life, or like where things are going, the direction that things are going in, like what you're giving your energy to, that type of thing. And it seems like you could be in a spot where you're like, well, I want to do something about this, but I'm seeing some unresolved stuff still that would be difficult. It's like when you have all the information to then make a choice, you feel like, okay, I'm good, I feel confident about that because I had all the information. But this is feeling like I don't have all the information. But it's information that has to do with emotional stuff is what I'm seeing. But there can be a part of you that wants to sort of throw that out the window and be like, but I want to do something now about it. But you could be feeling like it would potentially sabotage a big investment of yours. Just immediately when I see Seven of Swords and Seven of Pentacles, this can be like something that you've been nurturing and something that you've been giving your attention to, doing something that would be destructive to that. It can also be deciding to invest in something that would be destructive just in general within itself. Like if I give my attention to that in that way, it would potentially like be a dishonest thing to do here. But like especially with yourself, like you could feel like this is motivated by some type of like emotional shadow thing that you're experiencing right now. What you're feeling, what you want to invest in based off of that. Emperor is about the responsibility that you have, taking ownership, being accountable. Having Seven of Swords can be a part of you that would want to do something that would be not in the interest of that. So it would be like not following through on your responsibilities. It would be doing something where you would not be taking accountability for something. Could be doing something where you're like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to like play this role in this way, but I'm going to do this instead, where you'll look back at it and be like, wow, I really had the opportunity to put myself in a position of power because of taking responsibility and doing something in the right way. But Seven of Swords is like, are you sure you want to do it? It's like the devil on your shoulder type of energy here. This can be about hiding something, not being honest about something, letting sort of your shadow win here with this situation. But if you do this, it feels like it would be damaging to something that you've been investing in if you decide to move in that direction. And you may be looking to move forward, but this stuff needs to be reconciled first. Like it needs to be made sense of. And it feels like the thing that needs to be done here is taking a deep plunge into what's going on feeling-wise for you and turning all the rocks over and understanding what's underneath them. Because there can be a part of you that has this skewed idea right now. I'm not saying it's like this all the time, but in this particular situation, you may have a little bit of a skewed idea of like what you'll feel fulfilled by actually, or what will actually make you happy. And this feels like a warning that if you do something that goes against a way that you know how to behave in this situation or make choices or show up, that it's something that's going to be damaging to what you've already been investing in. So something that you've already sort of made that sort of commitment to, where it's like you've watered something and you've been nurturing it and you've really put your energy into it. It feels like, especially emotionally too, like this is something that you care about. But having this Seven of Swords connected with the Emperor is about discipline. It's about, again, responsibility, taking ownership, doing the right thing. It's about being self-led as well. Like, nobody else is going to tell you the right thing to do. Like, you know the right thing to do in this situation, and it's about doing it. But you may have like a little bit of the devil on your shoulder here, being like, are you sure that you want to do that? Are you sure you want to be responsible here? You know, like maybe you can run away from your responsibility, or maybe you can like get away with this, you know, but it would also be investing in the shadow here if you did decide to do that. And simultaneously, if you're investing in the shadow, it means that this will be destructive to something else that you've been investing in, that you may not want to be affected by this, but it will be, is what I'm seeing. And this is something that can really determine like your current fulfillment and your current happiness. Like, you could potentially lose something that you feel very happy with or very fulfilled by, or something that, and when I say that, I mean like, if you have something in your life that feels worth it to you to maintain, doesn't mean it's always going to make you happy or you always feel like the happiest, but it's something that like feels right for you within, something that brings you peace to have within your life, or sometimes does like really make you happy to have. Communicating and protecting what's precious to you. Some of you, this has to do with a relationship. Know that if this is not your energy, it can be the other person's energy that you're dealing with. I get the vibe of somebody maybe not being, if you know that you're being totally honest with yourself and those around you, and you're doing what you're supposed to, where you're like, these things are my responsibility, like I'm meeting those standards, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, then this is the other person's energy. That's how you'll know. But if you're doing something and you're like, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but it would be hard to do the right thing in this situation, that's what I'm talking about here with this energy. But there is some type of like deception that's involved in this having Seven of Swords, or like not the whole truth being put out there. So something that isn't like the real truth would be potentially being invested in, and that will be built up then, you know, and it's going to be like a crooked building that's being built. And having the Emperor feels like this is something that's a big deal within your life. So if you decided to, like, this can be something like something having to do with your livelihood in a big way. Feelings that you're having, the role that is expected of you, of what to do here, of supporting also what's important to you, or destroying what's important to you. Knight of Wands is the part of you that may want to do something, but Two of Swords is like you could be doing something that's not congruent. Two of Swords can be this type of conflict where you could be seeing from two different perspectives, and you need to figure out which one is actually the truth and then move forward. High Priestess and Seven of Cups is feeling like working through a complicated situation. But once you work through it, you're going to be able to make progress, you're going to be able to move forward. But you could feel too like you were making progress up until this point, and then you hit this thing where there's a temptation to do something destructive here. For some of you, this is something that can be corrected. I keep seeing Knight of Swords, so there can be something about like needing to have a clear conversation about something, needing to have a conversation of truth, of needing to clarify something, of needing to set something right, but through communication that can be involved in this. But for some reason you can be scared to do it. Like you may need to say something, be honest about something. This will be the feeling for those of you that this is your energy. What the feeling will be is that like I have a responsibility to do something right now, but like if I say the truth, I may have to deal with the repercussions of that, of whatever that is. So the part of you that sort of like doesn't want to take responsibility, doesn't want to have to deal with the repercussions, is coming out and being like, maybe we can just get away with it. Like maybe we don't have to tell the truth about it. But I'm seeing it saying that if you do that, you're going to be bringing a destructive force. It's like you've been like watering something, right? And when the Seven of Swords gets involved, which is the destructive force that is based off of something that's not truth, something that veers away from the truth, that is not all honesty, that is not all me doing what I'm supposed to do, it means that you start watering something with a mixture that's going to be toxic to it. So that thing that you've been like nurturing and growing, you end up poisoning that thing by not being in the space of truth with this, whatever this is. And this feels too like something emotionally, both psychologically and also emotionally too, and about the way to move forward here. When you could be like, why am I feeling this conflict? Or why am I feeling this, like, I'm not really sure what to do here. And it's because there's a part of you that may not want to own up to something and may feel terrified of what will happen if you do. I'm getting that because I'm seeing Knight of Swords, which is about being very clear, very transparent, like telling the truth, that type of thing. And I'm seeing Nine of Swords, which can be like, well, what will happen if I do that then? And it can be like a deep fear that you're experiencing of what will change then if you do that. So it's like knowing the right thing to do versus the wrong thing to do. If you do the right thing, you may have to suffer some type of consequence potentially that you may not want to suffer, versus doing the wrong thing and then maybe feeling like you get away with it. But what I'm seeing your guide say is that you're not going to get away with something. What's going to happen is that it's going to be destructive to something important within your life. It will impact it. And something that may make you very happy to have within your life. So that's what I'm seeing. I guess if this reading is for you, you'll know what this is talking about. I feel like it's a little bit non-specific, but I also am not really sure what the reading is about. But you'll know if this is your reading, that will make sense for you. Let's see, can we clarify what this Seven of Pentacles would be? Ooh, this feels like figuring out whether you want something or not, like what you want. And that may be something that you haven't figured out yet, but it can be something that you're sort of dealing with within yourself. I'm seeing Eight of Cups actually go over where Seven of Cups is. And Seven of Cups is like, I'm still figuring out how I feel about this. But Eight of Cups feels like I'm trying to figure that out so I can figure out whether I want this or not, whether I want to stay or not. Like that type of thing is what I'm seeing. So that can also be part of this too. Like, do I want to stay here, and will I be happy to stay here, or do I not want to? Maybe there's something else that you've been thinking about wanting to do. What to do, what to move forward with. You have to figure out too what's motivating you here, what you're doing. Because this can feel like an emotional investment, something like that would be being made. And the part of you that's like going back and forth, it's like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm feeling kind of like confused here with what to do. But I'm seeing something again about bringing a destructive energy into something that you've been investing in. So you may want to make that right, whatever it is, and then it can clarify things for you. So if you've been doing something that you feel like you need to own up to in some way, now is the time to do it. I'm seeing Aries here, and I'm also seeing the moon. Yeah, I get something is going on over here, but until this other part over here is resolved, which is about making sure that you are doing what you feel like you're supposed to be doing. Once that is done, it feels like you're going to know how to move forward with something. But there can be one part of you that's like, I want to do this thing because it's easier, more convenient right now, versus the part of you that actually is like the wise part, that's like, you know what to do, it's just maybe the hard thing to do in this situation. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.